All right, let's dive into Hermes Agent. It's being compared to OpenClaw in the sense where you have an agent that controls your computer or your VPS. And the main two differences I've seen around it is first, it's focused on developer usage. And in my opinion, when you niche down something like this, instead of having it being used by absolutely everyone, and by the way, it can be used by everyone, but since it's focused towards developer, you have a much smoother way to integrate developer focused tools, as well as have the agent understand exactly what needs to be done. And another interesting thing is this right here. It is the only agent with a built-in learning loop. It creates skills from experience, improves them during use, nudges itself to persist knowledge, searches its own past conversation, and builds a deepening model of who you are across sessions. So yeah, the more iterations, the more you use it, the more it self-improves. This right here is how much it has grown in the past weeks. It's a similar trend as to OpenClaw and is also listed as one of the fastest growing repositories in GitHub right now. But to be completely honest, I don't believe we've tested this enough to say that it's a absolute OpenClaw killer, nor do I think we should be running random hyped repositories on our computer without knowing what we're doing. So instead of having
Hermes.
Hermes take over your computer and find all of your files, instead of basically exposing an endpoint where attackers can take advantage of, get inside of your computer, have that agent fetch for your data on authentication and more so, let's have this all be containerized in a way that it only has access to whatever is inside of that Docker container. And if you don't know what Docker is, the simplest explanation is that you're running a Linux instance inside of your computer, be it inside of, if you're using Linux inside of Linux or Windows or Mac, whatever you're using, you'll have that instance running there in a isolated way so that whatever is in there doesn't have access to its external environment. To install Docker, just head over to docker.com, click on download Docker desktop, and then just choose your operating system. Then to run Hermes inside of Docker, just run this command. It will create a folder inside of your root directory called Hermes. And from those files inside of that folder, it will then create the Docker container. So let me open up the terminal. Let's paste the command in there, and then we should be able to set everything up through the terminal. So let's hit Y to set up Hermes. It'll ask you to hit enter to start. Let me hit enter and now select exactly which model, which provider I want to use to run the AI agent. And I'll actually select the OAuth option just so I'm not wasting my API key tokens. Let me hit enter on that and now select the subscription for OAuth login. This should take us to a description of how to obtain this token. So all I have to do is run Claude setup token. And this, I mean, if you don't have Claude installed on your computer yet, then you're basically insane. I'm kidding. There's no problem if you don't. Just run this command, npm install -g at Anthropic AI Claude code. Then you'll have to run this command. So let me open up a different terminal. I pasted the command, hit enter, and I was redirected to Claude.ai, where I can hit authorize. And then back in my terminal, I'll receive the actual API key for the OAuth token that I can now copy. And with this token, insert it here, and it should just recognize that token and proceed to ask me which LLM from Claude I want to use. Let's keep the current Claude Opus 4.6. Actually, let's choose Sonnet 4.6, just because I don't want to waste my precious tokens. Okay, let's keep current Edge TTS, keep current terminal backend. The max iterations will be 60. This is similar to when you're using N8N and you have a max iteration set inside of the AI agent node, where it dictates how much tools you want the agent to use. So it really comes down to what you're using this for. If you're going to code, you'll probably want to aim for a higher amount, like 60, but always set something not so high just to ensure that it's like the agent isn't randomly using tools that are unnecessary to use and wasting up all of your tokens. So let me hit enter, and now tool progress mode all will basically show us every tool call with a short preview. But if I just wanted the final response, I could choose this option, set it to off. But yeah, I want all of it just to actually see what's going on. So let me hit enter. Context compression, let me hit enter on this as well. Inactivity plus daily reset. All right, now about session reset mode, this is a lot about the context window and when you want it to be resetted. You know, when you type /clear inside of Claude Code, this is basically it. So let me hit enter on this for whenever it's inactive, or have it set a daily reset as well. Then we can set the inactivity timeout in minutes. Let me hit enter on that to use the default. Daily reset hour, that can also be selected, and now set up the Telegram bot. This is where we're going to be sending the messages from. So let me hit Y, and now I have to fetch for my Telegram bot token. I will most likely have to delete this key now, but to create a new bot, all you have to do is go inside of bot father. You could just search this inside of Telegram. Once you're in there, just type /new bot, give a name over to your bot. Mine was Hermes_B_bot. The username has to end with _bot, by the way. And then you'll have the token to access the HTTP API. This is the token that you'll grab and go back to Hermes, copy it over there. You shouldn't see it show up, but as soon as you hit enter, now it should ask you for your ID. You can get your ID from another bot, which if you just type in ID bot, you should see a lot of them. And then whenever you talk to that bot, it should retrieve your exact Telegram ID. So mine is this one. Let me go back, type it in there, hit enter, and now hit Y to use that specific ID as the home channel. No, I do not want to set up a Discord bot, nor do I want to set a Slack. No matrix, no. I can also have the gateway start as soon as the system starts up. So let me hit Y on this just to make sure all goes well. Let's select user service. And now I can select which tools I want my agent to have access to. There's actually a bunch of them already toggled. Let me leave all that on and just hit enter. The problem with hitting enter is that now I have to place in the API key for a bunch of them. Let me just skip through these since I don't want to set that up right now. All right, you'll eventually see the ready to go message. But at this point, everything was generated over at that Hermes folder that I told you before, but no actual container is running back in Docker desktop. So let's continue following the documentation. Let's grab the second command they give here. Paste it in the terminal, hit enter, and you might get a warning, but as soon as you go back to Docker, it should be working just fine. If so, you can go back to bot father, click on the link for your bot, and now if you type in a message, I'll say just hi, it should now show a is typing message up there, and soon enough, you should get the message from Claude. While typing in /help, you'll have access to all the commands you can run. Some default and pretty good skill commands you have access, being one of them, Claude code, so you can delegate coding tasks to Claude Code, like actually run Claude Code from, I don't know, if you want to send a message from your Apple Watch, you can just do that. There's even a skill for Linear, for Notion, for Obsidian. So yeah, this video is more about how you can install this on your computer in a more safer way without really needing a VPS to test it out. And I don't want to be just another douchebag saying that this is a completely revolutionizing technology that you should use it right now to replace all of your employees, just because honestly, I haven't used this that much myself. It could actually turn out to be very useful. But as soon as I figure out major use cases that actually help us, I'll make sure to then record the video and share it here in the channel with you guys. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then.